Tag Your Read, Organising Knowledge and Information, by Alyssa Croucher and Christy Satlaker, for BCM301, History 2.0. The purpose of this clip is to demonstrate some of the key strengths and weaknesses of folksonomies. Firstly, we begin by giving a brief definition of what a folksonomy actually is.
Folksonomies are one of the most exciting and life-changing outcomes of the Web 2.0 revolution. A folksonomy is a system of classification which relies on ad hoc user-generated metadata, or tags, to index and categorize digital content. The term was coined by Mr. Thomas van der Walt at a conference in 2004, and it is a portmanteau of the terms folk and taxonomy. The concept is based on the idea of a taxonomy, which is a scientific method of classification that maps relationships in a strictly vertical hierarchical scheme. In a folksonomy, there is none of this structure. Instead, users are able to tag digital content, be it images on the Flickr network or bookmarked web pages on Delicious, with whatever descriptors they choose to create horizontal clusters or tag clouds. These tags enable sites such as Flickr and Delicious to co-locate content from both within the user's individual collection and across the entire network. The resulting organic system of classification has been described by undermines as a grassroots community classification of digital assets.
To illustrate some of the strengths and weaknesses of a folksonomy, as a system of classification, we conducted a class activity where we asked fellow students to describe which tags they would assign the following 3 images. We then compared their tags to those that were already attached to the images on the Flickr network. This first image is titled Framed Golden Tiger by Tembacco the Jaguar. Some of the tags our class used to describe this image were tiger, close-up, wildlife and animal. As you can see, most of these tags were also used on Flickr. However, there were many others which were not identified by the class, with one student pointing out that they did not understand how the Switzerland and D300 tags were related to the image. The second photograph we showed the class is titled Abstract Art, Watercolour by Tal-Lok Teb. Tags identified by the class to describe this image included colour, mess, spilt, abstract and art. Interestingly, many of these tags had not been used on the Flickr network, and most of the class did not understand the context of the tag that had been used, such as Mexican, Jose, and manipulation and abstractions. The final image for the class discussion is titled Hoyan and was uploaded by user Spice on Tour. Some tags used by the class to describe this image included fish, glove, straw, hat, and bucket. However, as you can see here, these were not tags shared by users on the Flickr network. Members of the class also commented that from the tags that had been used, gave them clues that the images must have been taken at a fish market in Hoi An, Vietnam.
This exercise highlighted several problems with the folksonomy. The first is in regard to the ambiguity of some tags. For example, most of our class did not understand what the tags D300 or S602 meant, although there were suggestions that it could be referring to the model of camera used to capture the photograph. Also, when the second photograph was tagged with words like art, it did not really tell the user very much about the image. Another issue that exists in folksonomies is the vocabulary used. In general, the majority of tags that are used are informal words such as big cat or market, which are very non-descriptive and may not be understood by all cultures in the same way. Also, there is a lot of jargon used by groups who share a common knowledge on a particular subject. An example of this is the tags expressionism and manipulation when describing the artwork. The final problem that arises with tagging is synonyms. As you may have noticed from these examples, there are a number of tags which are synonyms, such as watching, looking, and staring, or abstract, abstractions, and abstracted. Some members of the class also commented they had experienced some difficulties when taking part in folksonomies, particularly when trying to retrieve information they had previously stored, as they had searched for a different synonym of the tag they were looking for.
One of the main strengths of a folksonomy is the fact that it allows participants a much wider search network. People may interpret the object in completely different ways and as such will tag according to what they deem appropriate, therefore giving searchers a wider selection of tags and words to search through. The power a collection of taggers hold is undeniably a folksonomy's greatest strength. Each contributing member has the ability to teach the other members and encourage them to look at the world from a different point of view than what they normally would. The folksonomy focuses on the everyday crowd. It is a local way of classifying information. People use tags that are relevant to themselves and their lives, but they are building a network of information that can be used at a global scale and has the ability to connect with millions of other tags. The tags may have a personal meaning known only to the tagger, but it can also have a shared social meaning that any user will understand, helping to connect random people to the one thought. There is no single controlling party in a folksonomy. It is the number of users and participants who create the way the folksonomy develops over time, and it is these users who generate the content for those who are willing to search for it. The collection allows for a feedback system where users can systematically use, ignore, or edit particular tags in order for them to relate directly to their search.
So in conclusion, you could say, as Adam Maith does, that a folksonomy represents simultaneously some of the best and worst in the organisation of information. On one hand, it is uncontrolled, and chaotic nature undermines the fundamental purpose of a traditional organisational structure. Yet at the same time, it enables users to organise information their way while participating in and learning from a larger online collaborative.